Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect. My name is Pete and today we complete the Rogue VI assignment on the moon. We landed here in the last episode with Garrus and Tali. We have already leveled Garrus up, and now before we start the assignment we can explore the surface a bit. And let's speed things up for that. Right here we can see an arrangement of turrets. Nothing more, basically just free experience points if we choose to deal with this. And I think we should. However, we should be careful. Taking on 4 turrets at the same time is a bit tricky. Therefore, we can park the Mako slightly below the ledge here. This will make it impossible for the turrets to hit us. We can then use the zoom function on the Mako's main cannon. That allows us to fire downwards, something the Mako is normally not capable of. And we can chip away at the turret's health bar. Once that is down, we can go outside and go for the kill on foot for 3 times the experience points. Wonderful. Now rinse and repeat. For the second turret we will move slightly to the left here. It is a priority not to damage the Mako too much in this fight, so every turret that can't hit us is a good turret. We can once again use the Mako zoom function to fire in ways that the turrets can't. Then drive the Mako slightly up the hill here so that we can exit. And go for kill number 2. Back inside the Mako we can go, and from here it seems we can't really do much against the other turrets. So let's drive around a bit and look for a better spot. And yeah, I think this right here is nice. So round number 3, here we go. That should be enough. We can now step outside, go for the kill, and then there should only be 1 turret left. For this one we can use the usual rocking back and forth tactic, something that doesn't work too well against 4 turrets from 4 different angles, but against 1 or even against 2 turrets it's absolutely fine. Alright, let's hop in for the kill one last time, and lovely, we just collected roughly 1,500 XP. Doing this entirely with the Mako would have resulted in only 500. Now maybe you can see it up over the hill there is something of interest and we will check that out soon. However, before we do that we can go down the mountain here, because there is one more group of turrets just like this one. This small hill here provides us with excellent cover, so we can park the Mako here and then slowly peek around the corner. Then, with the zoom equipped, we will rock back and forth and slowly take the turret down in the process. Alright, that's 1 of 4 down. We can now move back inside of the Mako and proceed to take on the other turret. Or not, at least not from this distance, because we can't see its health bar. And from here it doesn't work as well, so I suppose we have to dance a bit. Alright, the first turret is at low health, but we still have to evade some rockets here. And this seems like a good moment to go for the kill. We get that and the level up as well. Now back inside of the Mako, 2 down, 2 to go. We can park the Mako so that both turrets line up behind each other, which makes the rocking back and forth a bit easier. And then let's take out the turret in front first. One more time, going in for the kill. Wonderful. And now the last one should be a piece of cake. One more shot. And that is the last turret of the area down. We can now go back into the Mako, but let's not proceed just yet. We grab the level up in this fight and let's spend those points now. For Shepard, we will spend 2 points on Intimidate. We want this to be at level 10 before going to Pharos. For Garrus, we will spend 1 more point on Tactical Armor to max that out and grab Master Shield Boost. And with Tali, we will slowly move towards maxing out the Cryption. And now we can fast forward ourselves up the hill here to where the reason for our visit on the moon lies. Yep, that's right, it's another set of turrets, this time 6 of them, but the first 2 here can be easily destroyed without grabbing the attention of the other 4. A bit more challenging is the fact that they come in pairs of 2, so we always have 2 rockets to evade. On the plus side, every shot from the main cannon damages both turrets. That's the first one already taken care of, and as you can see, the other one is already pretty damaged. One more shot and we can now move in for the kill. Now we can fire at the other turrets from here, but we can't see their health bar, so we might accidentally blow them up with the Mako. That is something we want to avoid, so let's move in a bit closer. And we have almost full shields, so we can take a bit of damage, and for that reason I think the more risky approach is okay in this case. One down, 3 to go, and the next few moments are actually not too interesting, so let's speed the process up a bit. That's number 2. That's 3. And that is number 4. Wonderful, we can now pick a bunker of our choosing. It doesn't really matter which one we pick, the order of the enemies is always the same. So let's take the one that's closest here and enter. Inside we can proceed into a larger area that has a secure crate hidden behind the containers to the left here. We get some weapons and the light armor from that, and then there is another storage locker right around the corner here. 2 shotguns and an ammo upgrade. Now before going into the next room I quickly equipped the squad with anti-synthetic rounds, because spoiler alert, with a rogue VI that's what you're likely going to face. And now with that taken care of, we can move inside. Let's tell Garrus and Tali to stay back a bit, because we're going to rush in, fire a few shots and then immediately retreat again. That will now cause all the assault drones to group nicely together, and we can hit them with a nice combo of overload and sabotage. And that's why we went tech heavy, because we can now do the entire thing twice. Now all of them have their shields removed, and most of them also have taken a slight dip to their health already. The majority is even unable to fire back because of the sabotage, so we can now calmly pick them off one by one. Alright, that still leaves 2 groups of 2 on the right side of the room, and one of them includes a rocket drone, something that can very easily take out our entire squad on Insanity difficulty. So now that these 2 have approached, we can hit them with sabotage and damping, then throw in another overload, and shortly after we should have 2 more enemies down and another level up to spare. We will take care of that in just a minute. First let's deal with the remaining drones. The first one here approaches on its own, and that's 3 against 1. Nothing too difficult for us, and we can take care of it even without using abilities. Now we only have 2 more in the back here and an overload ready again on Garrus, and with the drone conveniently parked next to one of those explosive stations, that's almost enough to take it down completely. Alright, now we only have 1 drone left. We can hit a sabotage on that to stay safe, and then just fire away until we get the kill. We have now cleared the area of all enemies, but there is still a bit of stuff to destroy. To completely disable the rogue VI, we need to shut down the VI mainframe, and each of the 3 bunkers has one of those. After going through this door here, we can turn to the left. In this room here, quickly loot the data port for a codex entry. and then proceed to blow up the VI conduits. Destroying these conduits will release a toxic gas in their close vicinity, so it is generally a good idea to stay away a bit, but then again the gas isn't all too harmful and there are only 4 of the conduits. And that's all 4 conduits in this room destroyed. Now let's head over to the other one and repeat the entire thing. No codex entries here, so let's just fire away. Alright, the first of 3 computer clusters is offline. That means we now have 2 more bunkers to go, and those will be a bit more challenging. With business taken care of in this one, however, let's quickly return to the entrance, from where we can get back to the outside. Wonderful, now we can hop back into the Mako and navigate to the next bunker of our choice. Once again, it doesn't really matter which one we pick, the enemies will be the same regardless. Alright, welcome to underground bunker number 2. Before we engage with our enemies, of which there are of course a few, we can loot the place. There is one secure crate to the left here. That gives us some weaponry and a Krogan armor. And then there is also another one at the opposite end of the room. 3 shotguns, lovely, we don't really need those. But before we head into combat, let's quickly spend that level up we received earlier. For Shepard, we have 2 points to spend and we will open up the assault training skill. That increases weapon damage and that's always useful. With Garrus, we spent the 1 point in assault rifles to unlock sniper rifles because I want him to specialize in that soon. And for Tali, we can once again spend the point on decryption and move closer to maxing that out. Alright, that's it. Time to kill some combat drones now. We will run in there, grab the attention of the drones on the right, then quickly retreat and then head over to the left. This is where most of them will now come through, nicely huddled together, and that allows us to pick them off easily. In this case, we will start with overload and sabotage. Once the group of drones in front of us has grown enough, we will once again hammer an overload and a sabotage in there. For good measure, let's also throw in some damping and an AI hacking that permanently removes one of our enemies at least. Well, and then it's just a matter of superior firepower. Thanks to a rather large area of effect from the sabotage, we are pretty much safe here, at least for a few more seconds. Now the drones begin to fire again, but we also have another sabotage ready, so let's throw that in there and take care of the remaining few. Alright, that is another group of enemies down and we can now proceed just like we did in the bunker before. Head over to the back and take out the VI conduits. Once again, these will have the toxic gas defense, but that's not too much to worry about. There are no codex entries in this bunker, so let's just go and destroy the first conduit. Now the VI has activated some additional defenses. The toxic gas is still active, but on top of that we now have kinetic barrier fields. However, for the moment that is just a mild annoyance. Alright, we have cleared the first room, now let's go over to the other one. The shields are unfortunately not limited to the conduits themselves, but also block several doors in the facility. Like I said earlier though, not much of a challenge, but still pretty annoying. Lovely, that is now the second of 3 clusters offline, only 1 more remains, and of course the challenge increases 1 more time in that one. Let's move and also shoot our way back to the entrance now. Those shields now conveniently block every single door here, and then we can exit out back to Moon's surface. Alright, one final trip with the Mako over to the third and last bunker. The defenses from the previous 2 are still active in this one, which means we are immediately greeted by a kinetic barrier. Behind that, however, we can find a secure crate. Inside, an assault rifle, some light armor and an omni tool. Then we can move out and destroy the shield in front of the door. But before we go through, there is 1 more container to loot, and that is the storage locker over here. A nice arrangement of weapons. And now we can move out. Before we can enter the main area, there is another shield to take down. And now with this fight we have to be a bit more careful. There are rocket drones in here, and quite a few of those, and on Insanity those are potentially one-shot kill units, at least for our squad mates. So it's generally a better idea to lure them out one by one and use good reaction time and positioning to take them out. Here we have one now, and that one is attacking, so let's return to the entrance area. Here we can hide behind the boxes and then slowly peek around the corner and begin to fire. Whenever a rocket attack is about to launch, we can quickly retreat back into cover, and that way we should be able to take this drone out without much trouble. Alright, lovely. Our shields are down, but there is also one less drone to worry about. Now we can move back into the main area and see all the remaining drones have nicely huddled together and present themselves on a silver platter. Well, of course we won't reject the offer and throw in sabotage and overload to get things started. We can also immediately go for another round and also activate overkill, and then fire away, but at the same time retreat back into the small hallway. This allows us to slightly reduce the amount of enemies we're facing at the same time. And once again, sabotage works wonders here. Okay, Garrus goes down. That's what happens when you allow a rocket drone to fire. Those things are stupidly powerful. We are now 2-on-1 though, so I think we will get our revenge quickly. Alright, that is the third and last group of drones taken care of. Now we only need to repeat the process of taking out the VI conduits for one last time, and that should more or less finish the mission. Once again, the way into the back is blocked by a shield, so let's take that out and then continue onwards. By the way, don't let yourself be fooled by how quickly we got through here. This third bunker can be a decent pain in the ass. Okay, one more shield to take down. And now let's take out the first conduit. Alright, in addition to toxic gas and some shields, we now have security drones in the room next door. For the moment we are safe in this one, but we have one more fight on our hands. Okay, that is the first room cleared. Now we can prepare ourselves for some company in the second. After getting rid of the shield, however, that company is pretty flimsy. We do have one rocket drone in here, but as long as we make sure to use sabotage on that, it's not much of a threat. Once all of them come close together, we can once again use overload and sabotage, and then quickly get rid of them without too much effort. That wasn't too hard. Now on to the VI conduits. And that is the last one that blows up, accompanied by a level up and a brief message. That series of O's and 1s actually translates into help. More importantly though, we have unlocked a specialization class. And that is pretty useful. We can see here our specialization class will replace our base class in the talents on the squad screen. We will however keep all the talent ranks of our base class. Since our commander Shepard is a soldier, we can now choose between the shock trooper and the commando. The shock trooper gets increased health and damage protection, and also improved immunity and adrenaline abilities, so it is safe to say this is the more defensive-oriented specialization. The commando then screams offense with increased weapon damage, improved marksman and assassination abilities, those are the ones for pistol and sniper, and also a boost to immunity, so the defensive aspect is not entirely lost. In the late game I plan to mainly use assault rifles and snipers, so the boost to assassination definitely comes in handy, and overall I prefer the commando to the shock trooper, so let's take that. In the end though, I think it's personal preference, pretty much depending on how you play the game. Let's not forget that we have unlocked a level up, so with 2 points to spare with Shepard, let's put those in our newly acquired Commando skill. That will boost weapon damage by 9% and is certainly a nice bonus. Garrus gets his first point in sniper rifles, and with Tali we can finally max out decryption. Then we can return to where we came from and leave the facility again. Back outside, we can hop back into the Mako, but let's not return to the Normandy just yet. There is one more location worth checking out, and that is marked on the minimap right here. We have now reached our destination and can step outside of the Mako again, only to discover the remains of the Luna 23 moonlander. That is a moonlander that was actually shot up to the moon in 1974, but due to damage while landing could never return. We can now successfully salvage that for some upgrades, and then hop into the Mako and return to the Normandy. Wonderful, and that is now the Rogue VI mission taken care of, and I think that's a good time to make a cut. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.